On the eve of Diwali, the air quality in the national capital is once again plummeting. The AQI is on the verge of breaching the 300 mark, or to put it more simply, entering the very poor category once again. A blanket ban on firecrackers is in place in Delhi. However, this prohibition is only on paper. Close to 20,000 kilograms of firecrackers have been seized so far, and the police and authorities are ensuring effective implementation of cracker ban. However, the political war of words continues between Aam Aadmi Party and the Bharatiya Janata Party. Former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has urged the public to not burst crackers this Diwali and instead light diyas. He's also said fireworks leads to pollution and breathing issues which will not benefit anyone. However, the BJP is slamming the AAP government over the blanket cracker ban, calling it an assault on Hindu traditions.
ये तो सभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट का भी कहना है, हाई कोर्ट का भी कहना है, सभी कोर्ट्स का कहना है कि प्रदूषण के मद्देनज़र जो है हमें पटाखे नहीं, हमें दिए जलाने चाहिए। ये लाइट्स का त्यौहार है, ये दिए जला के, मोमबत्ती जला के हम अपना त्यौहार मनाएं, ना कि पटाखे जलाएं। पटाखे जलाने से प्रदूषण होता है। प्रदूषण से कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि किसी पे एहसान कर रहे हैं, हम अपने ऊपर ही एहसान कर रहे हैं। जो प्रदूषण होगा वो हम ही उससे भुगतेंगे, हमारे बच्चे ही, छोटे छोटे बच्चे वही उससे भुगतेंगे। तो इसमें कोई हिंदू और मुसलमान और इसका कोई वो नहीं है। सबकी सांसें ज़रूरी है, सबकी ज़िंदगी ज़रूरी है।
पॉल्यूशन से बचने के लिए हर उपाय करना चाहिए, लेकिन जो एक दिन के त्यौहार को बैन करने की कोशिश कर रही है आम आदमी पार्टी, हम उसके खिलाफ हैं।
हमने जो हमारे पड़ोसी राज्य हैं वहाँ की सरकारों से भी निवेदन किया है कि वो लोग भी इस पर मॉनिटरिंग रखें। दूसरा, कल पुलिस के अधिकारियों के साथ हमने बैठक की थी। पुलिस ने जो हमें रिपोर्ट दी है कि उन्होंने 300 टीमें, हर थाने में एक स्पेशल टीम इसके लिए बनाई है। उसी तरह से 77 जो है वो टीम रेवेन्यू डिपार्टमेंट ने बनाई है, जो लोगों को जागरूक भी करेंगे और अगर कहीं इस तरह की घटना होती है तो उसको नियंत्रित भी करेंगे। जो पटाखा जो है वो 1 तारीख तक का लगाया गया है पहले चरण में। अगर उस समय परिस्थितियों में सुधार नहीं होता है तो उसको फिर सरकार उस पर भी विचार करती है।
All right, to talk more on this on the broadcast, I'm joined by Bhavreen Kandhari. She's an environmentalist and member My Right to Breathe. I'm also joined by Vivek Chattopadhyay, Senior Program Manager, Clean Air Campaign, CSE. Good evening, namaskar to both of you. Bhavreen, let me begin with you. You know, this is not a new thing that has happened, a blanket ban on firecrackers in the national capital owing to the air pollution. And this is perhaps an annual conversation all of us have around Diwali time. But my question is, how effective is it, considering the fact that the top reason for Delhi's air pollution at this time and in most of the times is vehicular emission?
So Shreya, of course, thank you for always speaking about air pollution and towards clean air. So, it's not about, we should not get into this narrative of what is more and what is less. We are in a public health emergency. It's truly a crisis. Every third child in Delhi has damaged lungs. So every source of emission is important and must be worked on. You cannot just, this battle of how much and, which, say if you're giving poison, you say you're giving poison, what brand of poison would you like, or how much quantity would you like to give your children? It's ridiculous. So every source of emission is important and it must be worked on. Firecrackers have clearly, in the studies that have, figures have been released now. Yesterday also the papers said it clearly. The last 6 years have seen the extreme spike, in the next day of crackers. So it's important. But then all year round, there are all these other factors, which is waste burning, which is obviously a failed solid waste management bylaws, which we are not implementing. There is construction dust. There are vehicular emissions, like you said. So vehicular is also it's more policy-based, systemic changes, because we, as a city, as a state, we are working only for the private vehicles. We are not working on public transport. We are not working on a policy to, keep people away from private vehicles, which could be emission taxes, congestion taxes, could be low emission zones. These are things that should have been done even a decade ago. But it's just it's all in conversations, and we keep saying things now. So all these cosmetic changes are brought in. The headlines are brought in. People get attracted to these kind of headlines of various smog guns and visual things that are being done. But that really is not the solution. Every source of pollution, every source of emission will have to be checked and checked throughout the year. So we are concerned about the crackers, but I must tell you that my Twitter feed is full of people tagging on various violations, which is the industrial violations right now. We are coming from chemical companies, these factories, whether it's waste burning, construction dust, broken roads. As of, I'm telling you now, in the last week, and at this point of time, when the graph is invoked. So if there is not a will, a political will and intent, and we are just going
That's
to be
right. So there needs to be more than lip service, Bhavreen. And I agree with you that, we can't be pinpointing as to one reason being the only reason of air pollution, and, how much is too much. We shouldn't get into that sort of battle and that sort of debate. Let me get in Vivek Chattopadhyay to this as well. Vivek Chattopadhyay, the fact that there has been lip service so far. When we talk about the firecracker ban, even today, we have people who are illegally selling it despite the ban. Firecrackers are being sold in the national capital, in the NCR, in black. They're even being delivered to your house without selling them in public. So how far is this blanket ban actually helping the national capital when people are still getting it? It is still available, perhaps not in public markets, but they're still receiving it, and they will be bursting the firecrackers on the occasion.
Certainly, if there are clear guidelines on this, and the directions are also, I think, being provided much earlier. So it's a major enforcement loophole, I would say. The authorities have to ensure that public health has to be given priority, and certain decisions have been taken to protect public health because government's own information is predicting that air quality will turn into severe if the firecrackers and palm residue burning happens in next few days. So I think that information has to be taken seriously, and otherwise it's we would blame farmers, but at the same time, if we ourselves pollute our own cities, then it becomes a very sort of distortion in our opinion.
Yeah.
So I think a holistic picture has to be taken in mind in terms of air pollution control. There are several sources. Our own analysis based on the government data shows that local pollution is majorly 50% almost caused by vehicles. Certainly, congestion has increased in the city. There are several other sources, industrious and other things, and firecrackers add on. And if you look at the data of Central Pollution Control Board, 100-point increase in air quality index happens post Diwali, and that hangs on for 2-3 days. It's very toxic pollutant are being emitted because since chemicals are being used for making the firecrackers. So certainly, any medical opinion, any environmental opinion has to be taken on serious grounds, I think.
Yeah. But, Bhavreen, while you and I and all of us here can talk about the kind of damage, the kind of pollution that firecrackers bring into the national capital at this time around, you had the Delhi Chief Minister, former Delhi Chief Minister, beg your pardon, Arvind Kejriwal, urging people not to burst firecrackers this Diwali. This despite the fact that, Aam Aadmi Party, and not just Aam Aadmi Party, other political parties as well, burst firecrackers when they have, when they're winning elections, when they have somebody coming out of prison, when they have some sort of occasion to celebrate, they do have firecrackers. Why this hypocrisy? And why aren't citizens able to see through that hypocrisy that, you're asking us to not burst firecrackers, but here you are celebrating the occasions that you have to while bursting firecrackers?
Absolutely, Shreya. You have to practice what you preach, and obviously it's not with one party or one political leader. This is happening all the time. And also, I'd like to point out that for what I understand, the ban was called very late in September. It was notified on 14th of October, and there is no way. So the manufacturers have manufactured, traders have already brought in, they have purchased, they have obviously done it. So if you really mean that you want to bring a full-hearted ban, then it should be called as of now for the next year, the whole year ban, because we know that the fireworks and it's not about Diwali. That is exactly the point here. It is about, whether you're all kind of celebrations, it's cricket matches and, the weddings and processions we've seen, it's non-stop in winter and even beyond that. It's all the time that,
you have the wedding
that you
season now beginning. You're going to see firecrackers all through this time.
Exactly. So this is not something that is about Diwali or it's about any other festival. It's about New Year's. It's about Gurpurabs. It's about Christmas. It's about everything, and it's about the health of our children. So this is a ridiculous argument when anybody is saying that targeting a religion or a festival. It's everybody's festival. There are a lot of other ways to celebrate. So that lead that they as a state, as what they've done, of course, is absolutely commendable, and that's it. But obviously, it means nothing, because this is where the intent comes in. The political will, what we say is, the beauty is that one state calls and the neighboring states, because air pollution is all about airshed approach. So the moment one says ban, the others come in and join in, because it's about the health of the citizens and the children. So if Haryana is doing something good with the paddy seeds, they're using native seeds, and that's shown a huge amount of good result. I think Punjab and the other states should replicate that. So that is where I think political will and intent comes in, where everyone has to come together under a same umbrella. There's an airshed approach that is needed to solve air pollution. Otherwise, all this bickering and raising fingers just to let the other person down is not going to get anywhere. And yes,
also, Parveen, there's a lot of talk that all of us
as
do around this time, and Delhi's air pollution. And Vivek Chattopadhyay, there's so much conversation about green crackers and the use of green crackers and all of that around this time. But how many people actually are aware of it? How many people know the nitty-gritties of it, or how to identify those sort of crackers, that are different from your usual regular crackers? There's a lot of conversation and talk about all of these things. But when it comes to implementation on ground and the awareness and the will of people, that is perhaps missing, and that has not been able to, people and authorities have not been able to sort of motivate people to go the way of not bursting firecrackers.
Yeah, certainly like in several cities, it is being allowed, green crackers, where the pollution level is, say, moderate. But I would say that it is very difficult to distinguish between what is green and what is like normal cracker. So I think there is a major issue with the labeling and enforcement. There is a huge unregulated industry also. There are regulated industry also. So I think the whole like entire mechanism and enforcement is not clear, and that is the reason like people also get confused that what to buy, what not to buy, where it is allowed. So I think labeling in several other countries, like they also have rules on quantum of firecrackers a person can buy, and also those are certified. And certainly on certain days, there are regulations to restrict their uses to protect public health. I think all the political parties have to take responsibility in this regard. Mixed messaging will give, like people also get agitated on certain things, that why it is banned. But the messaging has to be clear from the medical community, from the government, and from certainly central government has to take a huge role in raising mass awareness of all the states, taking them on board, because it's a pan-India issue, not just Delhi's problem. But Delhi certainly is in a
That's right.
very crucial situation that there is no breathing space.
That's right. That's right. So hopefully we will have, more and more people taking to more environmental friendly ways of living. We'll leave it there. Bhavreen and Vivek Chattopadhyay, thank you very much to both of you for joining us on Mirror Now and getting your perspective into this entire debate on firecracker ban.